If you're new to photography and you've just bought yourself your first purpose camera and you've moved on from using your phone for photography, you might be wondering, what's the next thing you should buy after you've bought your camera? What thing can help to improve your photographs or make you a better photographer after you've bought this camera? Well, in truth, or in my advice would be that nothing extra can help you become a better photographer. The best thing you could do once you've bought your camera is not think about what you can be buying, is think about using your camera as much as you can and taking as many photos as you possibly can. So once you've mastered your skill of taking your photos and then learning how to do it, then it's time to buy something. But having said that, what I'll do is I'll go through my 5 or 6 things that you could buy to become improve your photography, or at least make it easier. And I'll go through those now and let's have a look, see what I think. Possibly the most important thing, or the best thing that you could buy, or the first thing you could buy as a beginner photographer, is a tripod. And this is a tripod I've owned for about 20 years, and it's just a really cheap supermarket brand tripod. It's not expensive, it's made of aluminium, it's cheap and cheerful, but it does the job. And you can use this tripod in all sorts of conditions, for all different reasons. Mainly, if you want to take slow shutter speed shots, you'd really need a tripod to help you steady your camera, keep your camera as still as you can while you're doing those slow shutter speeds. Also, it really works at night, so if you want to take night shots in the dark and you want to have a really long shutter, it's really difficult to find a bin or a wall or something else you can rest your camera on. And if you've got a tripod, even if it's a cheap and cheerful tripod, it's going to be better than nothing. You could pay a lot of money, buy a really expensive carbon fiber tripod for thousands of dollars if you've got the money, but the margin or the minimal gain you get from a really expensive tripod or a cheap and cheerful supermarket tripod, personally, I don't think there's a lot of difference. There is a difference, but you'd only notice it if you're selling your photos, trying to earn a living from them. But if you're just someone like me who just posts pictures on Instagram, then a cheap and cheerful tripod would be perfect. As an alternative option, you could also use one of these gorilla pods. And these things have nice bendable legs, and you can put these anywhere. They're really light, they're really easy to carry with you, and they work. Obviously, they're not ideal for really big cameras, but if you've got a Canon 400D like this one here, it will work. It'll support the weight of this Canon. So definitely the first thing I would buy, or the best thing I would buy, would be a tripod. That's your first option. Another good early investment that you can make after you've bought your camera is to buy yourself a spare memory card. I have a little pack of memory cards that I keep a few spare memory cards in. And what tends to happen if you go out on a long day out with your camera, and especially if you're shooting things like wildlife, you put your camera in burst mode and you clicking away, and you're not realising how quickly you're filling up your memory card. And before you know it, all those wonderful pictures you've taken, you've run out of memory in your memory card. So it's always helpful to have a spare memory card with you in your bag, in your pocket, anywhere you need to put it. And you know that if you do end up filling up the memory card you have, then at least you've got a backup and you can take that one last shot that's going to be the banger. So I definitely would recommend another option, another accessory that you could buy with your camera is a spare memory card. That would be really helpful. Cameras also do normally come with straps. So when you buy a camera, whether it's new or used, you're very likely to have a strap with it. But if you haven't, that would be a really helpful purchase to make, because some people don't like straps. Some people don't like having a strap on their camera. But personally, I like to have the strap on, and then I can put it over my neck like this, and I've got my camera ready. Or if I'm not bothered about having it over my neck, because I don't always do that, I just grab it like this in my hand and I carry it. You can pay a bit more money, buy some of those expensive clip-on straps that you can buy. Toe Peak, I think, do them, and they're really helpful. So you can, if you don't want a full shoulder strap, you can then just have a little clip-on wrist strap, and they're very, very good. But for me at least, they're a little bit expensive. But I'd definitely recommend, if you haven't got a strap for your camera, that's definitely something worth looking into buying. Or maybe you want a flash, colourful camera, leather, or whatever you want, then you could buy that, and you can sort of, improve the look and feel of your camera to suit you. But that's something I would definitely look to invest in. Something else that could be a really good, useful addition to your photography equipment is a spare battery. Much like a spare memory card, if you're out for the day, if you're out for a long trip, you might find if you've only got the one battery in your camera that it soon burns away, especially if you're using your camera for lots of photos or video. It'd be really useful to get a spare battery. Now, the challenge with getting a battery is that they're expensive. And if you brought the own brand battery up for your Canon example, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get another battery for your Canon camera. You could get a OEM battery and get another manufacturer's battery, and that would be cheaper, but you are likely to, it doesn't last as long, so you might not have as much use out of it. Or you could do what I did and bought a second-hand one. Although I know this is an Olympus battery, I know it's not going to last as long because it's used, and it degrades after a certain amount of time. But that's definitely an option for you, definitely something to think about buying once you've bought your camera and once you've started to use it and you've got your tripod and you've got your memory card, etc. A battery is definitely worth an investment. My fifth and final suggestion of an accessory you could buy that you don't really need but could be helpful for you is a camera bag, and especially a waterproof camera bag. Now, this camera bag I bought is a low pro, and I did a video on this, so you have a look at my video on this low pro bag and you'll obviously see what this can do. But the good thing about having a bag is that most of the time when you're out and about taking photos, you've usually got your camera in a bag over your shoulder and you're walking around. You don't always have your camera out all the time. And if you've got a waterproof one, that's especially good, because one of the good things you can do is take photos in the rain. You get great shots of photos in the rain. Having a waterproof bag will help keep your camera dry as much as you can. And I think it's pretty essential you get yourself a bag that'd be helpful. And there's lots and lots of different bags. You don't have to get a low pro. There's loads of different good quality bags, waterproof, that you could invest in. So that's definitely my fifth and final suggestion of accessories you could buy. They are the 5 things that I suggest or recommend that you could buy once you've bought your new camera. They're just nice to have. They're just accessories. You don't need them. As I said at the start, you don't really need to buy anything. What you need to do is get out and take photos with your camera. But what they will do, they will make photography easier for you. They will make it easier for you to get those long exposure shots. They will make it easier for you to stay out with your camera longer with your spare battery and your spare memory card. So definitely some things to consider buying. There's lots and lots and lots of other things you could buy to make life easier for you, to improve your photos. And if you could think of any, well, why not leave some in the comments? That would be awesome. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been interesting and informative. And if you have enjoyed it, why not give it a like? That would be amazing. And if you like the content I'm trying to create, then why not follow along and subscribe to the channel? That would be awesome as well. Once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.